Good people. It's Theo Dorsey right here with you on a Thursday on Theoretically Speaking. CCAT on the other side of the glass on the ones and twos. Pop us up on YouTube at Theo Speaking and stream us live, or on Twitter. Just hop on that thing, X, whatever you want to call it, at ESPN West Palm. We stream live there as well. Now, you can tell it's the middle of summer because you see all of the different, pontifications about wide receivers who Devontae Adams didn't ask out, but people are pondering over if he's going to reunite with Aaron Rodgers with the New York Jets. You can also tell it's the dog days of summer here in sports talk world, because this is the perfect time when there aren't major sporting events going on or games to react to last night. Though, by the way, Caitlin Clark absolutely sealed the deal with that 19-assist performance. I mean, I already knew I was going to have a bad show today based on the fact that this morning I was at this event at St. Lucia's High School, and I was meeting a bunch of people, and I screwed up like 5, 6, 7 handshakes in a row. Like, absolutely bombed on some daps. And CCAT, I've told you this before, and you witnessed it personally when we first met. That is the perfect way to just end everything I got going on for the rest of my day. I can't get it out of my head.
A bad dap really sets you behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, like what I don't know what it is about that. I love to redo them if we do it incorrectly, but sadly, I'm starting to think I'm the problem, because just over and over again, I was screwing it up. It was either too loose, too tight. One time, I dapped up this guy that was, I thought he would want the corporate dap, so I went straight up with him, handshake, hello, my good sir, and he went for the full dap and hug, and I did that in front of a brother, right? So then I turned to my guy right here, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm gonna do this with you too, and he went corporate on me, and I went for the dap. And it just was a lot of, the chemistry was all the way off today. So I know I'm going to be talking in circles. I know that there's going to be a lot of erratic behavior out of me, CCAT, so just bear with me. You help me out. And again, just next time you do dap somebody up, think about them. Think about what it could be doing to them, because for me, it derailed me, and I'm sorry for all of those at Santa Lucia's High School this morning that had to deal with that, CCAT.
Fortunately, today's topic, it's on a tee for us. It's right in the wheelhouse.
So if you haven't seen it already, it's on ESPN.com. They ranked the top 100 professional athletes of this century. So starting in the year 2000, going through this year, technically, I know it's 2024, but we are now 25 years into this century, I guess you would call it. Yes, century. And last time they did this, Michael Jordan won. For the past century, Michael Jordan was atop the list. There was a lot of outrage because Secretariat, a horse, was somewhere in the middle of that list. Michael Jordan was also ranked above Babe Ruth, which some people are mad at, but I mean, he's MJ. Everybody wants to be like Mike. Recency bias as well. I get it. This year's list hasn't drawn the same level of ire. It hasn't drawn the same level of consternation, but there is something in the top 5 that have had a couple people bubble up with concern, with an issue. And it involves LeBron James and Tom Brady. So I'll just read off the top 10 right quick so we all know what we're dealing with here. Number 1 on the list is Michael Phelps, considered the greatest Olympian of all time. 28 total medals, 23 gold medals. I have my thoughts on this. I won't deliver them yet. I might wait until we get into the Paris season and we start seeing some folks hit the water actively, and I'll talk a little bit about that. But Michael Phelps, the number 1 athlete of all time, followed by Serena Williams, Palm Beach County resident. Number 3, Lionel Messi, South Florida takeover here, Inter Miami. Big shout to the GOAT, Lionel Messi. And then we get to 4 and 5. LeBron James at number 4, above Tom Brady, who many people consider the greatest football player ever. And this is where plenty of people have an issue. Now for you, CCAT, hearing just that top 5, Brady under LeBron James, does that make any of the hairs on your arm stick up? Are you concerned at all? Do you think that this is outrageous, egregious for them to rank it that way?
I don't think so. I think if you're just doing the greatest athletes of all time, we're not talking about the greatest winners. We're not talking about the most successful athletes, just the greatest athletes of all time. I think it's fair to give LeBron the nod over Brady.
So when you look at it resume-wise, and if you're just looking at what they accomplished in their career when it comes to championships, obviously Brady has the nod with 7 titles over LeBron's 4. But here comes the problem when you're going Brady versus LeBron. There seems to be a disconnect for those of you all who feel like Brady should be ranked above LeBron James here, there seems to be a disconnect with actually attributing what the greatness of this athlete was, especially when you think about the individual greatness of LeBron James and how long he sustained it. Tom Brady, as great as he was as a football player and as much winning as he did, though it didn't come without scandal, multiple cheating scandals actually, he was always tied to the greatest organization while he was in the NFL. He was always married to Bill Belichick, who's considered the greatest coach of all time in football, and in somewhat of a perfect incubator, a perfect environment for him to spit out what is the greatest career, the greatest resume we've seen a football player come out with. LeBron James did this thing while being drafted to the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2003. Like, LeBron James did this by winning and bringing a championship to 3 different organizations, the Cavaliers, the Miami Heat, and then the Los Angeles Lakers. And to top it off, he might just end up getting his podcast buddy and his son a ring, too, on the way out the door. Who knows? I don't know what are in the Lakers' plans right now. But when I think about individual greatness and I think about the way a person impacts winning and team success, LeBron James, out of all of the team sports right now, LeBron James should be the highest-ranking athlete over the past 25 years, above Tom Brady. And dare I say, I wouldn't go this far because we're in South Florida, but Lionel Messi, I'm looking at you next too. LeBron, I think we don't give enough credit to what LeBron James is, has been, and will continue to be to the game of basketball in the NBA because there is such a polarizing part of this guy because we've seen him on the big stage for so long. But it's been about him since he was in high school. For Brady, even those first couple of Super Bowls, it was less about him and more about what they were doing. It's been all about this guy, the spotlight, the hate, also the glory, all centered on this dude's shoulders, and for him to do it for this long. 20-time All-Star, 19-time first-team All-NBA player, a guy that also is the all-time leading scorer in the NBA. And if you just look at the stat list, the top 10 in most statistical categories that matter in NBA history, playoff or regular season, LeBron James, like everywhere you look. The dude literally dominated his sport and is still doing it at that level. So having him at 4 above Brady at 5 is clear and cut to me. It shouldn't be that much of a debate. And we were talking about this earlier, C-Cat. I mean, we're talking about greatest athlete, right? You put LeBron James and Tom Brady through like a decathlon. I mean, you put them through all of the Olympic sports that we compete in and that we're going to see in Paris, maybe even just the major American sports that we have here. Most of those situations, I'm leaning LeBron James.
If you put LeBron James on a football field, he's the better football player in 10 out of 11 offensive positions. Ooh. He's a better lineman. He's a better receiver, better running back, better fullback. He's better at all that stuff than Tom Brady. I know that's not the argument, but I still want to point that out.
Hey, you don't think Brady could be a slot guy?
Not better than LeBron. not better than LeBron.
You don't think Brady can Wes Welker, Julian Edelman his way into a good slot season? You put him, give Brady a full training camp. Give Tom.
We've seen those late season. We've seen his prime days where he would scramble out of the pocket and try to spike my guy Ed Reed in the second level.
Yeah,
no,
not a chance at all. LeBron James being a clear-cut better athlete, and even dare I say, I would rather have the career of LeBron James than Tom Brady.
Ooh, that's where we defer, my friend.
Oh, yeah, and you could pick Brady's side on that. But again, when it comes to LeBron James, his career, I mean, there's no cheating scandals. There's no rumors of PEDs. There's no deflating footballs. There's no spying on other people's practice. This guy did it the right way the whole way through. Did he change teams a couple of times and piss some fan bases off? Sure. Right? Did LeBron James get his son drafted and has everybody up in arms for some reason because there's a mob of anti-Bronny fans out there for some? It is the weirdest thing to me. Maybe. He got his podcast buddy hired. Sure. Sue the guy. But LeBron didn't get caught cheating, and I think that has to be weighed into it. I'm just a guy of more integrity than you, C-Cat. You can roll with the guy that got caught so often, but, I mean, I'm just not that kind of dude.
If we just boil this down to just basic social economics, right?
Yeah.
Or I don't know if I used that correctly, but go back to high school, right? You want to be the quarterback on the winning team. You want to be the superstar quarterback that everybody looks to, like that guardian on the gridiron. That is the primetime position to be in all of sports. And Brady had that. He had the rings to show for it.
Well, LeBron's still married. You know, he still was able to keep both. I'm not criticizing Brady for that. I don't know what happened in his household, but you're saying you want to be that guy, but that guy's wife didn't want to be with him. What would you pick? 888-760-3776. 888-760-3776. We've established LeBron James a better athlete than Tom Brady, but whose career would you rather have had? Hit us up on the Baptist Health Hotline or drop a comment on the YouTube stream at Theo Speaking. And the Baptist Health Hotline again, 888-760-3776. That's the number to call into the show. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Are you experiencing foot and ankle pain and need to see an expert in the field? Baptist Health Orthopedic Care is a team of foot and ankle orthopedic surgeons and specialists who are regarded as leaders in their specialty. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho to learn more today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care combines its resources of experienced physicians and leading-edge treatments and technology to provide advanced orthopedic, foot and ankle, joint replacement, spine, and sports medicine care. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho for more information today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has offices conveniently located in Palm Beach County through the Florida Keys. Learn more by visiting baptisthealth.net/ortho. Whose career would you rather have between Tom Brady and LeBron James, as we have the list, the great list that we'll be using to as a prism as how we view sports over the next 75 years of this century, the greatest 100 athletes of this century so far. And LeBron topped out Brady at number 4, Brady at 5, Bron at number 4, actually. And I started thinking about this as we called for the callers there, CCAT. Tom Brady also, if you think about some of those early Super Bowl wins, if you replace Brady with a replacement level, right, like an average quarterback in the NFL, I think some of those Patriots Super Bowls still happen. There's not one championship where you can take LeBron out at small forward and plug in, say, like who's an average small forward in the league, like a Gerald Green, like a guy that's not an all-star, but he's a good starter. None of those teams might even make it to the finals.
Yeah, when talking about a slice of the credit pie, if you would, for every single championship, there's no doubt about it that every single championship LeBron won, he had a higher percentage of reason why they won the championship than Brady did, just because of the genius that was Bill Belichick and kind of the businessman that was Robert Kraft. There's no doubt about that.
And also with Bron versus Brady, I think about how, like, LeBron oftentimes was the smartest man in the room, in the organization, in the locker room, right? Like, even early in his career, but also you think about, like, last year with Darvin Ham. Who did it really feel like the Lakers were being ran by when it came between the head coach, who LeBron undermined and got fired again, or LeBron James, right? Like, between Ham and LeBron, it felt like he was more the culture setter, the person that set the stage, that guided his team, that had the direction, whereas Brady did benefit a lot from Bill Belichick being the guy to set the standard, to set the Patriot way, which Brady benefited from. I'm not taking away from his greatness with that, but when we're talking about greatest athletes of all time, greatest athletes of this century, it's clear why LeBron James would get the nod over the dude. And he's still playing. Like, he's actually still doing it. Not like Tom Brady, who's just flirting with the idea of coming back. Who out of LeBron James or Tom Brady would you rather have the career of, and which one is the greatest athlete when you consider what they've done in this century, LeBron James or Tom Brady? 888-760-3776. That's the number to tap into, theoretically speaking. And we have Jack in Okeechobee. Jack's in Okeechobee. He's on Theoretically Speaking on a Thursday. Brady or Bron, Jack? Which way you going?
Brady. Listen, I don't like Tom Brady. I've been on the losing end of a lot of games that he's in. He's 7 Super Bowls. 7.
Yes.
Come on.
7 Super Bowls, but I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's a team sport. I'm not saying who had the most success. I'm asking you who is the greater athlete. And LeBron, I mean, Adam Vinatieri won like 3 of them things for him.
How's LeBron's a better athlete? I heard you talking about different positions in the NFL that he can play. He can't play. I don't think he can play football. Just like I don't believe Tom Brady can play basketball.
True.
Because he's a big dude. He's going to be a running back or a receiver in the NFL. Listen, how many MVPs does Tom Brady have? Look, I'm not a Tom Brady fan.
Brady only has
I'm a Dolphins fan.
I believe Tom Brady only has 3 MVPs. He was only first team All-Pro twice in his career. A lot of these big stat years that Brady had, he was outmatched by other quarterbacks, whereas LeBron had more individual greatness. So though I appreciate where you're going right there with Tom Brady, I still feel, and I appreciate the call there, Jack, I still feel like when it comes to LeBron James, we talked about the credit pie, how much he contributed to the winning of it all. And on the field of play, with him being both a basketball genius and usually the best athlete on the court, he did. He did impact it more. He did move the needle more for his teams. And Tom Brady benefited a lot from an ecosystem that had the greatest coach of all time, that also had maybe the greatest kicker of all time in Adam Vinatieri, Matthew Slater, maybe the greatest specialist of all time, surrounded by that great defense. Like, I mean, he did his thing. He held up the water, but, I mean, he didn't carry the load that LeBron James has continued to do for all of these years. 4 Finals MVPs, 4 MVPs, 4 championships, 20 All-Star appearances. I mean, the dude is different. LeBron James. Now, we got Cade in West Palm Beach tapping in on Theoretically Speaking. Cade, you going Brady here or you going Bron? Whose career would you have rather had, and who was the greater athlete in this century?
Well, so I first find it interesting that you're asking a different question.
Oh, this is Cade. This is Cade Chumsland. This is our Cade. What up, Cade?
What up, Theo? Yeah, it's me.
Okay, what up? Now, what's your problem here? Address your concerns first, and then we'll get your answer.
Okay, so I just find it interesting how we started with who's the better athlete, and now we're asking whose career you want, because I think they're two separate debates.
Definitely.
I would rather have Brady's career because it's more championships, solely that. But I do agree with you that LeBron should be higher on the list that we are referring to, because I think he's the better athlete.
Guaranteed.
Now, my biggest concern in all of this, Theo, is this extra comment that you decided to tag on your monologue that said that you could replace Brady with an average quarterback and the Patriots would still win some of those championships. Yeah. And if LeBron weren't on some of those other teams, they wouldn't.
It's
whatever
true.
you said.
Yeah. Replacement level player on both sides.
Yeah.
Alex Smith.
Yeah. 100%.
Theo, you know so well that an average quarterback on those Patriots teams was not leading them to a Super Bowl. When is the last time an average quarterback won a Super Bowl after leading his team from start to finish? You can't say Nick Foles.
Joe Flacco.
I was just about to say, we mentioned him yesterday on the show, and that's Joe Flacco. Plus, I mean, a lot of people, if you go back and look at those first couple of Super Bowls that Brady won, I mean, an average quarterback was kind of like the stat line he was putting up, so it's not even a stretch to say that. I do appreciate the call, though, Kate. That's a good point. It was a good point by him. We're making 2 different debates, but that's why I asked the question in 2 ways. I still would pick LeBron in both instances because, again, also, looked like LeBron had way more fun. His career looked like a way more joyous ride. I would have hated being out there in Foxborough and all of those snowy games and dealing with Belichick and having to be all crude and sit up in front of the mic and not giving any answers. Like, LeBron be kicking it, man. He be having all those handshakes with his boys. He got his son on his squad now. Like, he's kicking it. He's living a good life. I would much rather have LeBron James's career. And his greatness does outperform what we saw from Tom Brady. When we want some good football takes, there's no greatness better than Mike Tannenbaum. We have him on the other side because I got to figure out what's happening with this Brandon Ayuk situation. Will he get traded? Do the 49ers even want to deal him? And also, what would it cost? That's CCAT. I'm Theo Dorsey with Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the NHR